I am sent all kinds of interesting concept decks. And I've been sitting on this for about a week or so because I wasn't sure if I wanted to cover this or not. But my friend Nick DuBois, always out here in the Midwest representing, doing something interesting in all due time. And he actually pushed it through to ICS Chicago, had a successful day 2 showing, and actually did relatively well. Well, he sent me this and said, "Hey Robbie, I'm going to start messing around with Predaplant Danger, and just Danger in general, trying to exploit the engine and find out means to kind of make the deck a little bit better." My initial thought was, okay, well, what the fuck do you do with the Predaplant engine that is inherently good? You know, like, let's be honest, you know, these cards are kind of locked up for a reason. But he sent me this concept. He was like, talk about this, see if anybody can help me refine it. So here we are today. We're looking at Predaplant Danger. And that is such a painful thing to say. Now, with the Aroma Mage link literally right around the corner, like, this card is, it's such a good boost to the deck. So when life points are higher than your opponent's, this card and plant monsters, this card points to can be destroyed by battle. You contribute one monster that this card points to, special summon one plant from your deck in defense mode. And you can only use the effect of Aroma Mage Therapy Jasmine once per turn. And once per turn, if you gain life points, you can add a plant from your deck to your hand. But we care that we have a Lone Fire Blossom on top of a Lone Fire Blossom, if that actually makes sense. Now, of course, with the Predaplant engine, we get access to Orthoscorpio and to Darling Cobra, which can go search for our many fantastic cards in our deck that actually make a splash on the archetype, per se. So, I do think, once again, hear me out here, I understand that this is a rough concept. Understand that there are a lot of interesting things out there, and a lot of people are trying to innovate things. So when you see a deck like this and you're like, what the hell does this do? Give it a shot. Build it. Try it. Try some plant technology. It is great and fantastic. So let's dig on into this bad boy. We're going to talk about every Predaplant card that we can to kind of figure out what's going on here. So we have 2 copies of Mothman. Reveal it in hand. Both players discard, draw. You know, like, this is the fundamental of what you need as you're loading up your graveyard. Deck thinning, getting to more resource value management. Things like that, honestly. Triple copies of Nessie. Of course, you're going to max out on the best one. Being able to search, get Jackalope, get Tsuchinoko. Literally, the friends of the friends. We have triple copies of Jackalope, special summon from the deck if you need, and more draw power. And then, of course, Tsuchinoko for when you miss, you got friends to come back you up. So, of course, just a straight 2/3/3/3 on the Danger package, taking up 11 cards in the main deck. Now, we are playing Triple Lone Fire Blossom. You have absolutely no reason not to play this. Honestly, this is probably the best card in the deck next to the Danger Engine. And obviously, like, you have to decide what you want to go for, but 99.9% of the time, you're probably going for the Orthoscorpio. So, we do play triple copies of the Predaplant we're going to call this some weird level 2 guy. So, monsters with Predaplant counters that are used as fusion material will be treated as dark. During your main phase, fusion summon 1 dark fusion monster from your extra deck using cards on the field and monsters from your hand field and or monsters with Preda counters your opponent controls as fusion material. You can only use this effect of Predaplant, we're just going to call him Chlamydia, once per turn. So Clem over here actually lets us make our opponent's monsters dark, which actually, you know, this guy takes a dark, this guy takes a dark. Actually, that's pretty good. I actually didn't realize that they had an in-house polymerization that you actually could use like that. That's really fucking good, actually. And it's all for the effect of a monster. Huh. Alright, so as long as you can get Preda counters on your opponent's stuff, that's really fucking good. And of course, we have Darling Cobra and triple copies of Orthoscorpio. You guys understand that these cards are fundamentally broken in their own right for what they've done. But I mean, the engine didn't get hit. We went after Brilliant Fusion. So, looks like we have a splash of the little guys. So, this is 1 copy of Predaplant. I'm going to call this guy fucking the Flyer. So, Mr. Flyer here, when this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. and place a Predator counter on it. And if it is level 2 or higher, it will become level 1 as long as it has a Predator counter. Once per turn, target one monster your opponent controls with a level less than or equal to this card's, and take control of it until the end phase. Predaplants had a means to take your opponent's monsters? Alright, that's really good. I like that. We have one copy of the tree, Sarah Seancent. When your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. After damage calculation, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if this card was destroyed by battle, or if this card was sent to the graveyard by card effect, you add a Predapt card from your deck to your hand. Oh man, that doesn't have to be a monster, it can be anything. Alright, you only use each effect of this guy once per turn. So as long as we can get this guy killed by battle, I get to Rhoda my deck. That seems pretty terrible, but okay. But being able to take control of my opponent's monster seems really good. Spino guy, okay. This card is normal or special. Something target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Place Predator counter on it. We did it. I found my good card. Alright. And if it's level 2 or higher, it will become level 1 as long as it has a Predator counter on it. After damage calculation, this card battle a monster with a equal or lower level, you can special summon one Predaplant from your deck. This is after damage calculation. This guy's 1800, by the way. Alright, so this will be how you turbo through the deck and make your life subtly easier. And then we have one copy of the Squid Dorsora. This card, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. You're going to face a monster you control. This turn it can attack all of your opponent's monsters with Predator counters, once each. This face-up card leaves the field. Place one Predator counter on each special monster your opponent controls. And if you do any of those monsters at level 2 or higher, it will become level 1 as long as they have a Predator counter. So I can just normal summon this Rammet, and all my opponent's shit gets counters. That's pretty good. Now, if only I could get this guy out on the field. Okay. Spells, we have triple Lure of Darkness. We have one copy of Foolish Burial, 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods, 1 copy of Monster Reborn. We have 2 copies of Yield Poly, 2 Desires. Alright, this is where we can search the other Predator cards, actually. Reveal any number of Predapt cards from your hand, and then target that number of face-up monsters your opponent controls and place 1 counter on each one. And if you do, any of those monsters that are level 2 or higher will become level 1 as long as they have Predator counters. If your Predaplant would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So this is actually what you want to Foolish Burial in this deck. Actually, this is pretty cool. Actually being able to, and this is quick play as well, so you can actually jam your opponent on their turn by making all their guys level 1. There are really weird things out there that have to have level requirements or like have to be the appropriate element. So like that's pretty cool that you can actually change that and mess with that to a degree. So I do like that. Spells, of course, the 1 Super Poly and the 1 Ultra Poly. Pay 2,000, special or fusion summon 1 fusion monster from the deck check using monsters you control's fusion material. Neither player can respond to this. And banish this card from your graveyard. Target 1 fusion monster as fusion summon with this card's effect. Special summon all the fusion materials used for this fusion summon from your graveyard. But of course they become 0. We don't really care about that, but hot diggity damn, rebringing back those plants are going to be really good. And then we have 2 copies of Predaplant. If a monster with a Predator counter leaves the field, while this card is face up in the field, you can add a Predapt card from your deck to your hand. We have Rhoda. You can only use the effect of Predaplant once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your deck using monsters from your hand field or as fusion material. And then Predaplant monsters can be used as fusion material for the fusion summoning using this effect. So, interesting to note, we have another banish effect that grants us another fusion, which actually isn't bad. But I actually see why this deck is super cheesy for what it needs to do. The extra deck down here, we have 1 copy of Underclock Taker. We have 1 copy of Summon Sorceress, 1 Reproticus, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Serbi, 1 Decode, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Boral Load, 2 copies of Jasmine. Then we get into the fusions. So Dragus Tapalia, of course, quick effect. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, place a Predator counter on it, which will blink it to a level 1. And then negate the effects of your opponent's monsters that currently have those counters. And then, of course, the Chimera Phlasia. Turn target 1 monster on the field with a level less than or equal to this card's, banish it. And then, when an attack is declared involving this card and opponent's face-up monster, you can activate this effect. Till the end of this turn, the add opponent's monster will lose 1,000 attack. And if it does, this card will actually gain 1,000 attack. And then once per turn, During the standby phase after this card was sent to the graveyard, add a polymerization spell card or a fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. This is pretty good, actually. I don't know, this deck seems super cheeky. I just wanted to get the concept out there so somebody else can mess around with it. So what do you guys think about this? Please, comment down below. Strictly out of the workshop, you know, have some fun with this. But this is Predaplant Danger in a nutshell. Alright guys, I'm in danger.
The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.